Hi everyone, I'm Maxim, and in this video I will show you how you can set up Python on your own computer. As you see here, I'm using Mac, but all these steps apply for Windows computers as well. So let's start with installing Anaconda. Please open the link I shared with you with my first email and scroll all the way down to the installer section. In a moment, we will install the 64-bit graphical installer for Mac. For the Windows users, you have two options, the 64-bit graphical installer or the 32-bit graphical installer. If you're not quite sure which kind of system you have, you can easily check that. So here I made a screenshot of a Windows machine where I searched system. And if you click on the system control panel, this kind of window up here should open up. And there you have the information on your system type. As you see here, I'm working on a 64-bit operating system. If you have a 32-bit system, you would find it here. So with this information, the Windows users know what to download. And for the Linux users, I rely a little bit on your proficiency to install it yourself, but it shouldn't be too difficult. All right, so let's download the installer. Depending on your internet connection, this might take a moment. All right, so we've downloaded the installer package. Now let's install. So here you can now go through the install options. Read the README file, accept the license agreement, and select a destination for your installation. And then, yes, install. In the background now, Anaconda installs everything you need to run Python scripts on your machine. So the Python environment, different libraries, and different kind of software. This installation might take a few minutes. In order to keep this video a bit shorter, I skipped the minutes I spent on the installation, and as you see now the installation is done and our Python environment is all set up. For the Windows users, the installation process will look very similar as what you've seen right now. So now we can close the installation, the installer. And now we can open Anaconda Navigator. So you have a new application here. For the Windows users, similarly how you searched for system, you can search for Anaconda Navigator and open this new program. Opening or initializing Navigator for the first time might take a moment. And now here you can see the Navigator with different kind of software installed already. In our course, we'll use Jupyter Lab, but there are other programs which I will show in the course as well. In order to execute now the scripts, we need to download the course material. So I would like to ask you to open the second link I sent with my email, which leads you to my GitHub repository. And you can download all of the course material as a zip archive here, and then you can extract the content of the archive. And now you see you have a local copy of the repository on your computer. So now let's go back to the Navigator and launch Jupyter Lab. As you see, Jupyter Lab opens a new tab in your browser. And now on the left, you have your the structure of your home directory. We downloaded the course material to downloads. And let's open the notebooks folder here. And here we would like to start with the first notebook, Notebook 0, which gives you an overview of how to work with Jupyter Lab and Jupyter Notebooks. So I would like to ask you to go through this notebook prior to the course to get familiar with Jupyter Lab. you will be able to execute these different cells here. It is all explained in this notebook. And at the end of this notebook, you have a test in order to make sure that you are all set up for the course. And here in the first test, you basically print out a vector. So this worked. And with the second test, you can now see whether you can load all of the libraries we will require for our course. So as you see, this worked as well. Anaconda per default installs all of these very essential libraries. In case this doesn't work as displayed here, and there's maybe an error message, such as here, for example. So here I tried to import a library which is called xarray, which we didn't install before, and you see it will say it will issue an error message which says that there's no module or library xarray. If this is the case, or you want to install a own package for your own analysis, you can go back to the Anaconda Navigator and go to Environments. Now here on the right, you have all of the Python packages which you have installed list under installed. Typically, it is advisable to update your indices. So this means that you will check what kind of libraries you have already installed and which other libraries are available within Anaconda which are not installed yet. So let's check whether xarray is available. And as you see, you don't find xarray here. So it is not installed. If we switch now to not installed, we indeed see that xarray pops up, so we can install this package. So now we select this package and click apply. And as you see, now this package is getting installed. First, it checks the requirements, and now you can apply the installation. Depending on the package, this might take a while, but xarray should be fairly fast to be installed. All right, so now it's disappeared from the not installed list. We go back to installed and see indeed xarray is now here. So let's get back to our example in JupyterLab. So this didn't work before. If I now execute the cell again, you see there's no error issued. And with this, you are all set up for our Python course. So as the next step, I would like to ask you to go through the first real notebook and try to understand the different concepts I show here, which are fairly easy. It's about assigning variables and doing simple mathematical operations with them. And prior to our course, I would like to ask you to try to solve the following exercises, which we will then discuss in the first exercise, in the first class. Thank you very much, and see you next week.